Hey everyone, what is going on? MrWombat Live and welcome back to another Payday 3 video. We are really grinding them out at the minute, but that's because we've got so much information to talk about. And before anyone asks about the title this time around, I'm not someone that does clickbait. It is very, very likely that Houston is coming back in Payday 3, and I'm going to be explaining exactly why, in case you haven't seen today's brand new Payday 3 Dev Diary. It's a brand new series that Payday 3 is kicking off. I don't know how frequently the episode's going to be. I'm presuming weekly, but I guess we'll find out. The first episode dropped today with some details on core gameplay, changes to mechanics in-game, and also a bit more information about the characters and the setting. Some really cool stuff that I wanted to break down in this video. Very quickly before I do though, I have a very quick question for you all. When these episodes come out going forward, Starbreeze were kind enough to give me access to this early. Would you rather I do a video where I've already watched it and talk about the key information, or do what I did with the FAQ video and watch it live and react to what they're saying and talk about it afterwards? Just let me know in the comments down below if you have a preference, just so I know going forward. And also, just very quickly, if you are new around here and you haven't been following the most recent Payday 3 news on my channel, make sure you click that subscribe button, because I've been talking about literally everything. As soon as we get Payday 3 news, I turn that camera on and I get talking. So make sure you stay in tune for any Payday 3 news, just to make sure you don't miss anything. But either way, let's get right into this and talk about the Dev Diary. So, I have listed out the different things and tried to reorganize the information to make it flow a little bit better. So we're going to start off with the Payday 3 core gameplay mechanics, because it's noted the Payday 2 players will recognize a lot of how the game works out. There's not going to be that much of a drastic change between 2 and 3. You want that same heisting elements take place in the build. That's totally logical. However, there are features that have changed and evolved going into Payday 3, and the most interesting one for me personally are the different phases of gameplay. As they note in Payday 2, stealth and loud is a very binary layout. You're either doing one or you're doing the other. There isn't really much of a separate notation from that. But Payday 3 chucks that out the window. You've got your stealth, you've got your loud, but they've also mentioned 2 brand new phases, one stealth themed, one loud themed, that allow you to have a bit more depth and more layering to your gameplay. First off is the search phase. That takes place in stealth, where guards are looking for you. They're suspicious of something you've done, whatever it may be. They haven't actually described yet, presumably different behavior. I'm getting a bit of an impression it could be down to more of a Hitman style stealth, where if you leave a body in a certain place or a door is open in the wrong place or something like that, guards will adapt to it, notice, and start to investigate. Very, very, very cool. Cannot wait to see more on that, and I have actually got a video coming very soon for my own personal stealth wish list. So if you got comments on what you want to see in stealth, leave those below as well. There's also a phase for loud called negotiation, which is just about as good as it sounds. You saw in the gameplay trailer that you could take hostages, grab them by the neck, and bring them outside and chuck them out in front of the cops. That is an actual mechanic. First responders will arrive when the alarm goes off, and you can trade hostages to delay how long it takes for the cops to arrive for proper loud gameplay. And you can also choose whether to not do that. If you keep hold of the hostages, you can apparently trade them later for resources, which sounds very interesting, presumably meds and or ammo, maybe other stuff on top of that. I like the idea that hostages are going to be worth more. Hostages kind of became a bit of a passive thing in Payday 2, where it was like, you kept a couple and it delays the assault gaps a little bit, fine. But there wasn't much to it, and I felt like there was always more you could have done, so it seems like they've taken that and run with it. And in case you're wondering as well, while we're on the topic of hostages, they can indeed be used as meat shields. There's several extra bits of gameplay in this diary that prove that you don't have to just pick up a hostage to throw to a cop. You can just keep them. Feel like being up close to hostage and holding them like that and just shooting some cops? Go for it. You can just do that. You can have them as a literal meat shield, which again, a little bit more variety in gameplay. Very, very cool. Big fan of that. The next thing I want to focus on is location, because it actually answers something else that I was hoping Payday 3 would do. They've chosen New York City as the, quote, capital of capitalism. That's where they want to focus to make the most money. Fair enough. It notes that in New York City, it's going to feel like a more vibrant world with more pedestrians and traffic in the game, so that it feels a bit more lived in. Very nice. Doesn't feel like there was tons of that in Payday 2. Little kind of side streets you couldn't get to, and like bank houses, a few cars, but nothing really major beyond that. So very, very glad to hear that. But it also notes that it's tied to the narrative of Payday. So there's reasonings and story ideas as to why they're in New York, and different features of New York will come into play basically in the heists and explain why we're in that city. So an exciting idea. But Almir has also noted that there is an increased interest in the story from the audience, especially in the latter years of Payday 2, because people were more invested in the story and what was going on there. So there will be interesting narrative links. However, it won't just stop at New York City, because it was confirmed by Andreas, the lead producer on Payday 3, who, by the way, pops up in this a lot. Very cool to see him, because he's kind of been a mythical figure on Twitter for about 3 or 4 years now as the lead producer on Payday 3, and he wouldn't say much about it. But he notes that New York City will be the location of Payday 3, quote, at launch, but it will expand as the game grows. My personal hope, I don't know if this is just me, but for Payday 3, I wanted it to have a globe-trotting feel. So when they originally said it was going to be in New York City, I was like, okay, fine, but I wanted to see it go worldwide. So the idea that we have a hub bit for New York for the launch, and then expand from there, very, very happy about that. I want to see us go to Japan. I want to see us go to the UK, to Spain, to India. Pick whatever countries fit whatever thing you want to go for, but go globetrotting. And I like that there's a bit of a tease of that, so I'm hoping they follow through on that. Very, very exciting concept. But yeah, New York City at launch, bigger and better from there. The next thing then are the characters. Now, we recently had news via the FAQ on Monday that there's going to be 6 heisters at launch rather than 4. We have our OG 4 we know about, Dallas, Chains, Hoxton, and Wolf. But there's also going to be 2 characters beyond that. As to the identity of those 2 characters, I'm going to be really evil and wait to tease that last bit till the end of the video because it is very exciting. But they do note that the gang has grown older. There's been a bit of a time jump because Payday 2's main story ended in 2018, and now we're pretty much present day now, I presume taking place in 2023 for Payday 3. So they noticed that the gang has gotten older, but also they want to reference key story beats that happen to particular characters from Payday 2 in the game. Now, I'm not sure what specific things they go for. Maybe they'll build on the fact that Hoxton was in prison for some time. Maybe they'll go more into Chains' military experience. It was kind of passing information in Payday 2 that wasn't really used very much. If they build on that in Payday 3, that has the potential to be very exciting and make the characters feel more fleshed out, rather than just you picking really a voice that you like the sound of, because that was pretty much all it was for Payday 2. You have personalities that come through from the voice, but you don't have much beyond that. And while I liked the range customization, any character with gun, with skills, I would like the characters to have a bit more behind, a bit more oomph, and a bit more personal story beats, so I like the sound of that very much. But the big thing, other than the potential reveal of Houston, is collaborations. Collaborations is something that a lot of people have been asking me about, that I've been theorizing about for years now for Payday 3, because Payday 2 has had over 30 collaborations, be it for weapon packs, for characters, for heists. There's been a lot of crossovers going on in Payday 2. Some of them, phenomenal. Some of them involved goats. However, both Almir and Andreas acknowledge that collaborations are going to be a thing in Payday 3, but they will ensure that they fit the universe. They're going to build it based on previous comments from the community and make sure that the things that they cross over Payday 3 with will fit the tone, will work for the game, and won't feel like some massive reach. For that reason, I believe that makes the return of characters such as Jacket or John Wick far more viable. John Wick I was wondering about because I wasn't sure if there was still going to be a 5th film, but apparently that is going to be in the works. So who knows, whenever they're planning on releasing that, maybe they'll get John Wick back in Payday 3. I don't know. But Jacket has probably been the most popular crossover character, if we're being serious here. Everyone loves Jacket. So I think that paints a bit of a likelihood for Jacket to come back. No comment on that. That's my own personal theory. But since they're saying they want to work on collaborations people will like, and people loved Jacket, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do it again. So I have hopes for that. That could be quite exciting, but I guess we'll find out. The thing to note though, and this is something very good in my opinion, is they note collaborations will not be present at launch. They want Payday 3 to launch on September 21st with its own unique story, its own unique environment. It's all in the Payday universe, purely original content at launch, but after launch, as they both say, quote, anything can happen. So we will wait and see what comes after that. But at launch, it's original stuff. I like that. I don't want it to launch right off the bat with crossover characters. I want us to get used to Payday 3's world first, and then get people to show up. That'll be a really good way to do it. But I've been building up to it all video. Let's talk about Houston, because at the end of this video, I quite like that they used some outtakes, including Almir saying the gang was sleeping around.
They haven't been sleeping around. They've been sleeping around.
An interesting little bit of a Freudian slip there, Almir. Interesting. But at the end, the last outtake is Andreas, the producer, quoting some of the names of characters.
Chains, Wolf, Hoxton, Houston? I don't know where Houston is.
And I personally believe that that outtake has been put in there on purpose. They know, especially after the FAQ, that eyes are on them for all the information they share now. They're being far more transparent and sharing the information we've wanted for the last 6 months, and things are going very well. So I imagine they're expecting everything they do for Payday 3 to have a lot of eyes on it. So why choose that outtake specifically for the end of the first dev diary? I think Houston being in Payday 3 is more likely now, having seen that outtake. I do think it's genuinely a possibility. I'm not saying it's confirmed, because they haven't confirmed it. It is a tease, but it's one that I think you could potentially lean into, and I really, really like that. So that is an exciting prospect. I really like that means if Houston is in the game, him and Hoxton finally get to be on equal footing. Houston was there at the start of Payday 2, but he was wrapped up in all the community being angry that Pete Gold wasn't back as Hoxton and someone else had taken the identity. And once Hoxton came back, I feel like Houston just kind of got shoved to the sidelines a little bit, which Derek Ray didn't deserve. His performance as Houston was really good. I know there's obviously people who like the jokes between Hoxton and Houston, calling each other names, but I feel like if you asked most heisters who they prefer, they'd say Hoxton. I like that now when Payday 3 launches, Hoxton and Houston are both there at equal footing when the game launches. Fingers crossed if the Houston thing is to be believed. I just think that's a nicer idea. Rather than pitting them against each other, they're both just there, fully formed members. We know who they are, they know who they are. There's no identity changing, no nothing. They're just who they are now. Call me crazy, but I think that's a really cool thing, so I hope the Houston thing is there on purpose to tease it. Otherwise, I'm just sat here theorising for no reason. That would be a bit sad, but I think there's more to it. I really, really do. But ladies and gentlemen, that's everything that we know from Dev Diary number 1. As I've said, I'm not entirely sure right now how often these are going to be. My best guess would be once a week, but it may be a bit more padded out. We have still got 3 months to launch, but whenever there is the next Payday 3 Dev Diary, I'll be here breaking it down, reporting it for you. Let me know, like I said in the comments, if you want me to live react rather than break everything down after the fact. Whichever one you prefer, I don't mind. Just let me know. But just to let you all know that very soon I'll have some more Payday 3 content coming your way. I'm going to be doing a video talking about consoles. I promised that a few days ago. That is still coming. But I also want to do one talking about stealth. I did a community post very recently asking you what you want to see in stealth. And especially now we've got the tease of the search phase of guards looking around for you. It's got those creative juices flowing. I really want to talk about stealth in a little bit more detail. So all I'll say is if you are new around here and you haven't clicked that subscribe button already, please do consider doing so. Keep in touch with all future content and keep an eye on that community tab for whenever I post things, because I'm going to be trying to get you guys involved as much as possible right now. I can't tell you how many ideas I've got for Payday 3 content right now, and I'm excited to get them all out the door. But that will wrap it for here. I will see you all very soon with a brand new video. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.